Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk about some important stuff. So, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. This has been on my mind a lot lately, so I just want to talk about this for a minute. Okay, so you say Xbox has no games. I say Xbox is the king of third-party games, and exclusives are coming soon. Clearly, Xbox has spent billions of dollars to acquire new studios, to acquire new IP, to really put forward the best content that they can deliver, and they have fully invested in that. Xbox has spent over $70 billion on new studios. PlayStation's investment into gaming is in the hundreds of millions of dollars. So, I mean, if PlayStation can deliver that kind of experience with hundreds of millions of dollars as opposed to Microsoft spending billions of dollars, I think that this generation's going to get a lot closer in terms of quality and gaming than it's ever been before. So, I get it. Xbox hasn't always delivered when it comes to exclusives. So I don't blame anyone for questioning them to do so now. But when it comes to providing the best technology to deliver better third-party experience, Xbox has always been king. Xbox One was the first time, in my opinion, that Xbox let people down being able to deliver on power for third-party games. It was weaker, it was slower, it was essentially built to be a TV a TV box, an all-in-one box. But they did 100% fix that with the Xbox One X, bringing back the power, bringing back the what made Xbox a known brand in the first place, or not known brand, but what made Xbox closer to the PC experience in the first place. So, Xbox One S marked the first time that VRR support became available on consoles, and it did. It had the potential to greatly enhance your experience by smoothing out your games, and that was pretty awesome, and the Xbox, the experts never mentioned this to us. They never made a big deal about it. They never said anything. They never, I didn't even really know that Xbox One S had VRR support until I actually tried it for myself, from hearing somebody talking about it. And lo and behold, it works. Xbox One S has the ability to let you take advantage of low frame rate compensation to smooth out games running at or under 30 frames per second, and fix screen tearing on everything. So that is pretty awesome. This omission and lack of communication on this essential feature leads me to believe that the gaming experts cannot be trusted to give us the full truth about Xbox going forward. I don't feel like they are 100% capable of talking about things. And I'm not going to name the experts outright. I'm just going to say that they didn't really care about VRR technology until PlayStation dropped it. And now that PlayStation has it, they talk about it more often. Never talked about it before, but now it all of a sudden matters. And you don't understand. If you had an Xbox One S and you had it hooked up to a 1440p monitor, or even a 1080p monitor, that would have greatly enhanced your experience beyond anything you've ever seen in a video game space. Games that were running, under 30 frames per second would have been able to take full advantage of low frame rate compensation, which would have made them feel better, made them smooth them out, made them look better. You would have never even noticed that those games weren't running at a 30 frames per second. And games like Call of Duty that were aiming for 60 frames and they're hitting 45 to 60, racing games, that had a shaky frame rate, stuff like that. you would have never known that they weren't running at a 60 frames a second. You would have had a 100% much better experience had you known, so that you could go out and buy the technology that you needed to better enhance your games. Now, TVs themselves haven't really had, you know, the option for VRR support, except for like the last few years, just the last few years. But gaming monitors, on the other hand, you could have benefited from this technology since 2016 when the Xbox One S came out. So that is something that there's not a lot of, I mean, there wasn't a lot of information out there about it. So I don't blame you for not knowing. I don't blame anybody for not knowing. But the experts, the ones that have access to all this technology, and all the YouTubers and all the other people that 100% have access to this technology, and did say something about it, I do recommend finding those people and subscribe to their channels and stuff, because they're going to find this stuff out for you, and they're going to fill you in on it, and they're going to help you make better decisions going forward for your gaming needs. Like myself, man, I'm very actively trying to learn everything that I can figure out about these new consoles, so that I can deliver the best information possible. And I will do this for the PlayStation as well. Obviously, I've been trying to do that. Every time something new comes out for it, I try to give you the best information I can. I try to try it and show you. I mean, like, look at what I went through when I was learning about LFC, man. I sat there and I worked on that for the whole weekend, trying so many games and trying so many different combinations to see how that worked, and to see what that was capable of delivering, and how that would make your experience better. And I found interesting things, and I feel like the gaming community would appreciate that. They would appreciate it the way I appreciate it. Now, it's up to us gamers who care about these platforms to deliver accurate information to inform each other of the technologies and power of these consoles, of the power of our consoles and games. Technologies that power our console and games. Sorry, I wrote some of this down. That's why I made it a point to cover as much as I can about the Xbox Series X and Series S. This generation on this channel, things like Dolby Vision support, VRR, low frame rate compensation, dynamic input latency, AI upscaling and cloud technologies, gaming on a TV versus gaming on a monitor, and everything else that I'm actively learning about this generation going forward. This is an exciting time to be a gamer. This is an exciting time to be a gamer. Now, I rattled off some things in there, you know, like low frame rate compensation, dynamic input latency, AI upscaling, cloud technology, stuff like that. Let's break down dynamic input latency. Dynamic input latency is a technology that is built right into your Xbox controller and your Xbox that will predict, or not predict, but it will make sure that your console has your inputs exactly when they need them. Which before it would just send, you know, random, you know, stuff, you know, 8 seconds or something before it's needed or something. Now it's a lot more. You can definitely get on. You can definitely get on the Microsoft website and look up dynamic input latency, and it'll explain the technology and how it works, which is pretty cool. I'm really excited about that. And during my testing, you know, with low frame rate compensation, stuff like that, playing 30 frames per second games, I feel like it really is helping with the latency. When you're controlling like 30 frames a second, has always felt kind of like has always felt a little bit slower, but it's kind of helping a little bit when it comes to that. Other technologies like AI upscaling to give you a 4K image. Microsoft's response to that will be DirectML. DirectML is going to be their AI upscaling technology, and if it works anywhere as good as what DLSS is doing on the PC platform, that is very exciting. That is very exciting, because DLSS is a very, very good technology that really does look really, really good when you're using it, and you get much better performance and everything else in between. This generation, Xbox being able to even just VRR support has greatly enhanced our experience, because now developers can shoot for a higher resolution and still deliver a higher than 30 frames per second experience by just unlocking the frame rate, and letting it do its thing, because Xbox will go down past 40 FPS and will use low frame rate compensation to be able to deliver a much smoother experience for you to do that. I do play a lot of third-party games on my Xbox, like 100%. 100%. If it's a third-party game, I have no question. I just buy it on the Xbox. And to tell you the truth, I'm grateful I do that, because on the PlayStation 5, I'm going to be met with lower resolution. I'm going to be met with less choices when it comes to how I want to play my game. And in some cases, more choices. I know I complain about, having to choose between, 30 FPS and 60 FPS. Well, see, the thing with the Xbox version of, say, something like Dying Light 2, now I get to choose. Now I get to choose ray tracing at 30 frames a second, resolution at 30 frames a second. I get to choose balance mode that's 1440p at 60 frames a second. Or I get to choose 120 hertz mode at 1080p, which just unlocks the frame rate, which is probably the second best way to play that game. The first best way is going to be to play the balance mode, so you can get your resolution and you can still get your 60 FPS. But if you put it on a monitor, the 1440p monitor, and kick on the 120 hertz mode, then it's even better. It just depends on the technology you're willing to purchase to play that game on. Are you going to buy a gaming monitor that's going to give you everything but the Dolby Vision, or are you going to buy an OLED TV that's like 3 times the cost of that, so that you can have Dolby Vision? See, like, now that you understand and know the technology inside your consoles, now you can make a better informed decision on how you want to experience those. Now, I'm good either way, to be completely honest with you. 1440p monitor at 32 inches versus my 55-inch OLED. I'm good either way. It looks good either way. Like, I mean, like, the Dolby Vision is super nice to have, especially on an OLED. It looks freaking amazing. Recent game I was testing was Sniper Elite 3 or Sniper Elite 5. Sniper Elite 5 just in regular HDR10. It looks good. It looks fine. It looks great. But with Dolby Vision on, oh my gosh, it just looks way more like the color just looks more dense, and it looks so good. It just looks better. It just looks better, and it's like something that you'd like really have to sit there and like, kind of flip back and forth and kind of look at like certain things. Is what caught my eye on Sniper Elite 5 was in HDR10. When you look up at the sky, you get like banding. You get like it looks like there's ripples in the water, and I noticed that right off, and I was like, oh boy, because I was recording like video. So then when I take it off and I put it on just to be able to use without my capture card in there, oh my gosh, the sky just looks beautiful. The grass, the colors, everything just looks so much better, so much better that it like makes it gives the picture a much better. It looks fuller. It looks fuller, and I like that. I like that about Dolby Vision. I like that about Dolby Vision. That's something that I really appreciate when it comes to Dolby Vision. So we've been playing games for a long time. A lot of us have been playing games for a long time. I do think that Xbox is 100% king. 100% king of third-party content. Third-party content plays, looks, and feels better on Xbox than it's ever going to feel on the PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5, and I've tested lots of games, and this is my personal opinion. I've played a lot of games. There are gamers out there that are willing to accept, like 1800p on Hitman 3, as opposed to having full native 4K on the Xbox. people are going to say, well, it runs better on the PlayStation 5. And I'm like, nah, I got VRR support, man. It runs just fine on my Xbox Series X, and I get 4K. Like, it runs just fine. It feels great. Like, I don't feel like I'm at a disadvantage in any way, shape, or form in a single-player game at all. Whereas on the PlayStation 5, I would feel like I was at a disadvantage because I don't have higher resolution. So things just aren't going to look as sharp. They're not going to look as clear. They're not going to look as clean. And lo and behold, I actually get Dolby Vision support on the Xbox version. Gee, who knew? Most of the games that I've been testing, when it comes to Dolby Vision support, I can tell you this honestly, there is a difference. The game might not say it supports Dolby Vision natively, but it does. It does, and it makes a difference. When you're playing that game on HDR10, just if you're looking up at the sky and it looks like there's ripples around the sun, as opposed to playing it with it saying it's Dolby Vision on your TV, and you look up at the sun and then there's no ripples, that 100% makes a difference. That 100% makes a difference. Some games it is just that small of a difference. Like, it is. It really is just that small of a difference on some games. But some games, it's an incredible difference. Like, the colors look better, everything just looks better. The textures look better because they have the actual accurate color data to produce the colors that the artists were trying to deliver. It makes an amazing difference. It makes a great difference. And people who say that they only care about visuals and stuff, you know, like most of my PlayStation fans, that deep color thing that the PlayStation 5 has, it's interesting. In some games, it does make them look a lot better. In some games, it doesn't do really anything. So it's kind of hit or miss. It really is good with PlayStation first party games for sure. Like, because it's just something that they have access to the technology. So of course it's going to look better on their stuff. And it does do, PlayStation 5 does do the auto HDR, everything, just puts HDR and everything. So that's pretty cool too. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate the technology that PlayStation has. It just feels, it does feel a little bit dated, and it feels a little bit incomplete, a little bit half-baked, but don't worry, the generation's still young. It's only been a couple years. It will get better. It will get better for PlayStation. I do 100% believe that. So that's basically my rant for today. I find my Xbox Series S and X to be the best place to play third-party games. I just do. I have no question about that. If I'm going to lose a little bit of frame rate to get a better image quality, I'm 100% fine with that. I have VRR support. It works great. Playing Elden Ring on every system it's available. Playing Elden Ring on every system it's available. Xbox Series X and S have delivered the most consistent experience. I mean, PC would be right behind those, but it's got like this stutter every time that they're like compiling new textures and stuff like that, and it gets a little bit like, oh man, this is, I wish I wouldn't do this. I want it to just be smooth like the Xbox. Xbox is the smoothest place to play, aside from the PlayStation 4 Pro, or PlayStation 5 running the PlayStation 4 Pro version. Those are the two best ways to play it. Those are literally the two best ways to play it. And either way, I think you're fine. PlayStation 5 is a little bit better now, except for like when it goes under 48 frames a second, it really does affect the experience. When it goes under 48 frames per second, it feels like you're playing on the PC. It feels like you're playing on the PC. You get like micro stutters and stuff like that, and it just doesn't look as smooth. So that's basically what I got for you guys today, man. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you'll take the time and subscribe and become a part of this channel so that we can continue to grow. That's basically all I really have. I will link in the description the monitors that I use for the Amazon thing, and I'll put an Aniba thing at the end of the video. I want to see how those do at the end of the video, so that I don't want to bore you guys with a whole bunch of stuff. I've already got the freaking ads playing and in the beginning, so I mean, like 30 seconds of trying to get to what I have to say is pretty irritating when that's all you're seeing. So all right, man. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you. Have a good day.